everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim. Today I'm bringing you a declutter and unhaul video. Some of these books I just went through my physical TBR and looked through, was really kind of cutthroat about it, of what I was really not interested in reading. And a lot of these books came in book boxes and I kept them around thinking, yes, I'm going to get to them, but it's been over 6 months for some of these and it's just not something I'm interested in. So I'm unhauling them and decluttering them and taking them off to Goodwill or wherever I can once they open up again. So they are no longer part of my rolling physical TBR project because I'm just not interested in them. And then some later books I have read, or there's a couple that I DNF'd because I tried them, but they were just not for me. So let's get into the books that I am unhauling and decluttering out of my shelves and then eventually out of my home. Alright, the first book, I believe this came in one of my book boxes. I think it was the Used Books Monthly. This is The Wrecker. It is a historical book, kind of a mystery, just not something I really wanted to read. I thought I was going to get into it, but I haven't picked it up since I got that box, and I'm probably not ever going to. So this is the first one, and that is Going Away. The second book, this is, okay, I didn't even tell you what this was, but hopefully you were able to see. This was The Wrecker by Clive Cussler and Justin Scott. This book is also a murder mystery. I was trying to get into them and it just wasn't for me. This is The Dying Detective by Leif G.W. Pearson. Again, not my favorite type of detective type mystery book. I'm learning slowly that I like thrillers more than just straight up mysteries, especially murder mysteries. Not a lot of them have been my favorites. This one is The Plague Ship by Clive Cussler, another Cussler book. I thought I was going to really get into it, but again, I've not picked it up. Simply just not something I want to read. Death on Tap by Ellie Alexander. Again, same thing. Kind of sounded a little bit interesting, but I haven't picked it up since I had it. And every time I look at my TBR shelf, I keep passing over it, so it's gotta go. Ooh, this is no, this is not. This is a historical kind of romance type of book. It's The Great Alone by Janet Daly. Again, I've gotten out of my historical romance books, so this was not something I was really 100% interested in, but it's time for it to leave out. This one I will probably take to my classroom if and when we get back to our physical classrooms. This is The Click by Lissy Harrison. This is not the type of YA I like to read. It is more juvenile, more he said, she said, I don't like you because, that type of thing. It's really not up my alley. It came in a box, just did not hold my interest long enough to want to pick it up. Okay, the next two, this is Linger by Maggie Stiefvater. I know I butchered that last name. Again, same thing, very young, not up my alley. I think someone let me borrow this. Then Shiver, again, it's by Maggie Stiefvater. Just not something I was very interested in, very, very young adult, on that very young end of things, not the area that I like to read in. So those two are going on. This is The Woman in Black. I think I got this from a Goodwill. I think, but again, just not something I think I ended up watching the video production and really didn't want to pick it up afterwards. Some things I can watch and then be intrigued and want to read the book that it's based off, but I was kind of disappointed in the movie, and I think I would probably be equally disappointed in the book. So this is Soul Enchilada by David Gill. Just again, I somewhat was a little bit interested in, but again, every time I would pick off books for my rolling TBR, I would pass over it. So just not my alley. Same thing with this one. Again, it's more that young adult type of thing where it's just not something I want to read. So this is again by Georgia Nicholson. No, Louise Renison. Alright. Yeah, that's who it's by. It is a series that she does. And it's just too much on the younger end of things that I just don't care for. This is a war book. I've definitely found out I'm not into a war spy type books. This is Noble Beginnings. It's supposed to be a thriller by L.T. Ryan, but again, I'm not much into war type things. So this one's going. Same lines. This is The Quantum Spy by David Ignatius. No, I'm not into war things, but I'm finding out as I am exploring all these different types of genres what I like and what I don't like. This is a Mary Higgins Clark kind of compilation of 3 different stories. Again, I'm not much into just straight up mysteries, and that's what I'm finding out. But I know she's supposed to be an awesome author. Alright, so those are all the books that I did not particularly want to read. So again, I haven't picked them up, wasn't planning on picking them up, so those books are going away. 2 books that I did attempt to read and DNF'd. I did a first impressions on this. This is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I didn't care for it. The chapters were very short, and it seemed kind of clunky how they wanted to mash these 2 stories or 2 genres together, and I just didn't care for it. So I didn't get very far, and it had to go. This is A Perfect Blood by Kim Harrison. It dawned on me later as I was trying to get into this book that I'd read another Kim Harrison book, and I can link that video down below. I didn't care for it. It's actually the start of this series, and I didn't realize this was another book way on down the line, but I didn't care for it. Again, I lost interest as I was trying to read it, so it's got to go. Alright, so the books that I have read and did not care for, and they got to go on. Or, yeah. So the first one, this is A Haunting by, The Haunting of let's get this right a minute. The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I loved the adaptation. They did a lot of changes with it. I was very disappointed in the book though. It was not really that scary or had that kind of suspenseful feeling to it that the production made. So I guess that's why I was kind of disappointed in this book. Because it was way different than I thought from the movie to this book. So I was kind of disappointed in the book, so it's going to go on. This one I actually do like the series. I didn't like reading the physical book. I read the other 2 books out of the trilogy off of Audible. I love the auto productions of them. So I do want to go back and get this one on Audible and see if I like it more. It is a good book. It is very dark, very grim portrayal of magic and what could happen. It's very good though. So this is year 1. This is the first book out of the Chronicles of the One trilogy by Nora Roberts. I do highly recommend the trilogy. I think for me, I will enjoy it more with the audio version because reading it, it just felt more choppy and more abrupt in some areas, but with the audio, I didn't have that same feeling. So I want to try it out on audio and see if I like it better that way. This one, I was so disappointed in. This is by Jonathan Mayberry. Ghost Road Blues is a Pine Deep novel. This is the first book out of that series. I didn't care for it. I've talked about it before on other, I think, wrap-ups. Wasn't a creature feature really. It was very repetitive. It seemed like it restarted itself multiple different times. And I think I gave it like a 2 or a 1 star rating. So it's gonna go. I will leave the review for this book in the cards as well. This is A Turning, A Story of the Living Dead. This is by Kelly M. Hudson. Did not care for it. It's very brutal, very gross, very just almost like torture type of book. Not up my alley. I've talked about this enough on my channel. If you want to go again, see the review on it, my complete thoughts. And this one was a decent book. This is A Drowning by Rachel Ward. It's a decent book. I read it once, but I don't foresee myself picking it back up. But it was good. Again, it's trying to figure out how did this girl die and all of that. Or no, not her, the brother. So how did, I think, a brother or a friend drown, and them solving it. So it was a good read. I think it was like a 4 or 5 star rating. I think I gave it when I first read it, but I just don't foresee myself rereading this book. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this declutter and unhauling of all of these books. Leave me comments down below which ones you might consider picking up. If you've read any of them, leave me your thoughts down below. And then until my next video, I hope you have a good one. Bye!